welcome to Cutting Through the Bull at the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, and this week I'm hanging out with Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
Today we're going to continue the movie special of Falling Down. This is part 2.
Such a good movie, it took us 2 parts.
Yep.
There's a lot to cover.
Dense, a lot to it. In a movie where it's not action heavy, is it?
No.
It's a very simple plot, and we fucking up deep.
So much nuance.
So I'm assuming if the list... Oh, you're doing the... do the intro. Sorry. I just went into the episode and we haven't done any of the...
Well, we've got thanks to new returning listeners. Well, if you want, you can follow us on Facebook at Cutting Through the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. YouTube is Apocalypse Bull. SoundCloud, Spotify, all your other podcasting platforms. Cutting Through the Bull in the PTA. Let's thank some listeners. Hyattsville, Los Angeles, Brooklyn and Olney in the US. Frankfurt am Main and Essen in Germany. Boardman in the US. Rotterdam in Holland. Brussels in Belgium. Cincinnati in the US. Falkenstein in Germany.
So it's an actual real place. I just thought it was in the song. This could be Rotterdam or anywhere. Liverpool or Rome.
No, first off, 2 things I'm going to just stop you there with.
It's a beautiful south, isn't it?
Yeah.
The beautiful south.
Never sing the beautiful south in my presence. It drives
Do
me
you
to
not
an
like that
I
band?
can't stand it.
How do you feel, mate?
Okay.
I like the lyrics a lot.
Oh, I would happily.
My
murder
older
the boy in
sister
their
was a
sleep.
big fan, so...
It makes sense that you'd hate them, actually, Ben. That seems like, now that I think about it, sort of band that
I
you'd
would
hate.
murder them all in their sleep.
Happy, sort of northern indie pop
It's shad.
from the 80s. No, they got some great songs, mate.
They have,
Anyway, we digress.
I'd go falling down on them. Well, defense is heading home. He's going to like the entire city, and so now he's in the city proper now. He's going past the banks, the skyscrapers.
Yeah.
And there's a black guy outside. He's been rejected for a loan. He's like, I'm not economically viable. They won't give me a loan.
And he's wearing the exact same.
Yeah.
If you look at it, he's wearing the same tie, the same shirt, the same trousers. So I don't know if it's implied that means he's from the same company, but it's I suppose to show you that the white supremacy reading of this film might not be the right reading, because this guy's black. He's in the black part of town, and he's been affected by the same.
Yeah, so it's saying that...
Like, it's affected all groups essentially.
Well,
Do you see what I'm saying? Like,
I think I know you're saying this film does have people saying, "Oh, it's right wing." No point is defense. He's not a racist dude. He doesn't care. He just wants to go home.
Yeah.
But we touched on it last week, though. Yes, there's people who say it's right wing, but there's also people who view this film as being very left wing, which is beautiful because it shows you it's open to interpretation.
Yes.
It's not beating you over the head with a hammer. Like films used to be.
You mean
better.
You mean like it doesn't have to have an identity?
No, it's open. It's up to you, so you think about it afterwards, like good books and good poems and good songs, like things used to be.
Well, the thing is nowadays, unless it's fed to people on a spoon, they can't figure it out.
Well, everything's also made, but it's such a massive corporate investment that they do. They'll work out, is there an audience for this first? They'll all this different data and info of whether it's worth them spending £300 million, which is why things don't.
You do get some good films coming through.
Now and then, yes, you do. That's true. Well, it'll always be an art form, and there's always going to be people who are addicted. Oh, not addicted. That's the wrong word. Obsessed with the art form like this.
Yeah.
If you show things, how mad's this?
Show,
Movies,
don't tell.
Cinema, it's visual. You show things,
Yeah.
and not necessarily with dialogue. Like that little flash of his dad. We didn't work out, is it his dad or we think it was his dad, but it was just a flash.
Yep.
Boom, and then your brain does the rest. Because we weren't mongs.
Well, I have this issue with lots of things nowadays. I can't remember what the show was called. Netflix tried to do a superhero universe. Jupiter's something or other.
Ascending.
Oh.
That's it, something like that.
Jupiter Ascending.
Grant Morrison.
Yeah.
I think,
And I quite enjoyed it because you had to fucking think.
I never
because
saw
the
it.
timeline was like back and forth. It's like, and there was, if you do hear fireworks going off, listen.
Oh yeah, sorry, it's this time of year.
That time
in
of
the
year.
UK.
But because it was like people had to fucking think about it, like, oh, what's happening now? Who's the traitor going to be? What's going to happen here? It was like, it didn't do well.
Yeah.
And it was the same with House of the Dragon Part 2. Oh, the ending was crap. No. the ending set the pieces up for the next season. If you're able to think,
Yeah, but what they
would
did
realise
do was
that.
they cut the last 2 episodes off
Still,
for budgeting reasons. And it wasn't the series was still good, but it didn't end where it was meant to.
no, but the pieces were still laid out on
Yeah,
the board.
yeah.
This is my issue. Anyway, the black guy has been refused a loan. He turns around to defence. Don't forget me as he's being pushed into a police car to vanish into the racist 1980s LA police department.
Do you know the song LAPD by The Offspring?
I do.
We won't
Yes.
repeat the lyrics here.
No.
but I watched somebody react to that song on YouTube.
You reacted to it.
Just a couple of like white guys who,
Yeah.
you know, they do react. I just googled LAPD Offspring reaction. When that line came in, they both went, like, looked at each other, looking at the speakers, like, what the fuck did he just say? And then, but in the context of the song, it's absolutely,
Yeah.
it should, if it was a book, it'd be in speech marks.
Yeah.
Because it's not Dexter saying that. That's what the evil
Racist police.
They were pretty bad at this point in time, didn't they? Had a pretty bad rep.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I mentioned this last time, but I heard somebody raise a very good point on a pod I listened to, that the Rodney King beating just happened to be caught on film.
Yes, it did.
That,
Yeah.
as far as we know, could have been the standard.
Well, this
That
is
was
it.
probably happening night after night, hour after hour, to hundreds of innocent young men. Just that one happened to be caught on film,
Yeah,
and people
totally.
realised, look, this is how bad they are, and it's undeniable then on camera.
And the weird thing is, even the police department is more diverse. You still the beat cops.
Well, that's why this film is actually left wing, isn't it? You could say in the mid-90s, the police force is all young, ethnically diverse people.
Yeah.
So, where is he now?
He's on his way to Venice Beach, isn't he? It's the bodybuilders are walking past. And
It's his
That's
shoes,
where
isn't
Hogan's
it?
from.
Isn't there?
Yeah.
He's not. That's where he was billed as being
Yeah.
from.
he's got to get some shoes, doesn't he? Because his shoes are fucked.
Yeah.
So he finds an army surplus
yeah,
store.
he's got that big hole in his shoe again because he's economically challenged.
But he's also bought a gift for his daughter. He's bought the snow globe.
Yeah.
From a flea market
From a flea
type,
market.
somewhere where he would have
mentioned
never
that, yeah.
dreamt of shopping.
No.
Or go. He wouldn't be in this part of town. He's broke as they are now.
Yeah, yeah. And the
With
guy,
a big bag of guns.
Yes, he's still got the big bag of guns. But the guy who owns this military surplus store, I think we can probably safely say that he is a fascist. He's a neo-Nazi.
Yep.
He insults some gay men in the shop.
He does.
Although I suspect this character is so far in the fucking closet that he's in Narnia.
They do say the bigger the
Yeah,
front, the bigger
yeah.
the back.
Yeah.
Usually the way, isn't it?
Because he does threaten then to break defence, doesn't he?
He does.
It's very rapey, that whole scene.
I can remember that scene, because obviously it's been a few years since we watched it. I remember when we watched it last week thinking, oof, like today, like if you were showing this, like my housemate who's half our age, if you showed that to him, I bet you he'd be like, "Ah," just the language and the way, just using being gay as an insult and a threat.
Yeah.
But in early 90s, that absolutely was how.
Unfortunately,
Men
there are
would
people
threaten
out
each
there
other.
that act like that, and this film just portrays it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Would you say that this kind of person is still around now?
Oh yeah, very much so.
Definitely.
Very
They're
rare
old.
though now.
No, not.
I think
not-
they're more common than you might think, but they know they have to be even more underground.
Not so
than
much
these
now,
people
though, do
were.
they?
They've got their groups online and things and that, but in general, they're not going to walk around Tesco, I don't think.
No, I guess
Well,
not.
you did have that torch parade in Charlottetown, wasn't it?
That wasn't really gay people though.
It was near Nazis, though, wasn't it?
Well, were they?
Well, a lot of them
believe
were,
they were.
a lot of them were,
Everybody's
were,
a neo-Nazi
a
nowadays.
lot of them were CIA guys in.
Well, that's
after
also
rail.
true. Probably,
Well, yeah.
probably a fair few of them. I bet the guy
No,
who
they
came up
showed
with
it, the photos, they're all in like these straight off the rack, like chinos and matching top, and they're just obviously like, oh, what are you doing?
I'll guarantee you the bloke that suggested a torchlight parade was in the FBI.
Joe Rogan tells a story all the time about some group that got started and invaded, and like out of 16 members, I think it was 13 were FBI, and they just hounded these other 3 into going further and further and further, making them think this thing was real. So fuck the CIA. But I suppose defence's issue is not so much with that level of government, is it? It's like more like lower than that. your job's gone. He's an economic.
Well, it's military-industrial complex for him, isn't it?
The reason he finds himself now with a hole in his shoe and a bag full of guns in a fucking army surplus store run by a neo-Nazi is, and then...
It's because he's not economically viable anymore.
Yeah. And if he'd been black, he might be in a police car already. But because he's a white guy in a shirt and tie, even back then, that's what they call white privilege.
Well...
Sorry to be woke, but...
Detective Torres, who's Prendergast's former partner, is sidetracked by the neo-Nazi guy, who kind of tries to be friendly, but also manages to insult. Why don't they call you officeresses? And it's like, oh, it's cringe. He's trying to be a bit. He's trying to be disrespectful, but not sound disrespectful.
Yeah, he's not. He's clearly not respected her because she's a woman, even though she's a police officer. In his store, and if a male police officer came in, he would have probably been like, "Oh shit, what have I got in here that I shouldn't have?"
Yeah.
But he literally had no. She was a clown, a joke to him, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And he got her out of there because he thinks
that defense is on his side. He thinks he's one of his guys. Much like I suppose you could draw a parallel with defense and the Killdozer guy.
Yeah.
But isn't that interesting? How it's a world light years before social media. Our mate fucking Nazi boy's got the idea in his head through a few radio reports that he's some sort of white nationalist hero shooting up shooting up Korean and black areas, and he thinks that's why he protects him from the officers. He thinks he's this fucking Nazi hero.
Yeah,
that's interesting, isn't it? Just from the radio reports of like, a white man has shot up a phone booth, or because he's robbed the restaurant at this point, hasn't he? And the Korean, has he shot the phone booth before?
They've shot.
Yeah. So all these reports, because that's why Prendergast. That's why he's piecing things together now, isn't he?
Yeah, he's actually doing some proper police work.
This is very strange. There's reports of a white man in a shirt and tie, glasses,
with a briefcase,
sensible haircut, firing fucking machines, shooting up a fucking phone box, robbing a. He didn't steal anything.
No, he never stole anything. I mean, he trashed the place,
held up the burger joint.
Yeah, and it's like, wait, so he's doing like you say, Ben. He's even though last day, he doesn't want to quit.
Nah, he doesn't. It's just his crazy wife.
And this is getting his balls going, because the theme of his character so far is that he's had his nuts.
His nuts are safely in his missus' purse,
and his own captain on his last day, retirement day, is telling him, "I didn't like you. You're a pussy and a coward.
You got injured and you wouldn't go back out there."
And he takes it, and you're thinking, "Come on, man!" But I suppose he's probably thinking at that point, "Look, just suck it up.
Get through.
I'll be out of here." Because they're moving house as well to a different part.
That's
of
it.
Well, like you say earlier, most people in this film are cunts.
Yeah. There's two sides of the same coin, aren't they?
They are. Yeah. And the neo-Nazi guy says to defense, "Oh, come on down the basement. I've got something to show you." My God, there's so much Nazi paraphernalia.
Nazi Santa.
You'd be in heaven, wouldn't you?
No, I wouldn't.
Oh no, it wasn't Italian fascism.
Uniforms. He just likes the uniforms. So do I.
The uniform that got released on Helldivers this week is very Nazi stormtrooper.
You gotta get off that. There's a world of games.
I know, but
play some other games.
At the minute, I'm cosplaying as a stormtrooper.
Oh.
Yeah. So my point is valid.
There's a Nazi Santa. He's got
Nazi Santa.
There's
a
Nazi Santa dummy. I draw the line at empty canisters of Zyklon B.
Yeah. I think that's what Nazi Santa brings the Jews.
Zyklon B. Oh God, I just had a really dark
Think
thought.
about this. This is like the very early
bag
90s.
kids,
Sorry, mate.
He normally gives coal to the bag kids. Santa.
I just had a really dark thought. What if, because obviously it's a 24/7 operation, the whole gas chamber thing. What if on Christmas Eve someone dressed up as Santa and tipped it down there?
The Nazi Santa would, wouldn't he? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He'd send a Zyklon B in a chimney.
But what if some guy?
Or they slept.
Oh, then again, but Santa wasn't in red in the 40s.
Oh, you'd open up your fucking stocking and it would just gash you. And you all lay dead around the Christmas tree.
Ugh.
So, how's defence getting on with the old Nazi fella?
He gets given. The Nazi guy's like, "Hey, I've got something for you," and it's a fucking, it's a rocket launcher. It's what's called a LAW, a light anti-armour weapon. It's one shot disposable. It pops out, the side pops up. You press the trigger on the top, boom, off it goes.
Oh man, I'd be called Bazooka Boy. I'd just have like 18 of them over me. Like, I know you can only fire them once and chuck them away, and like that'd be my whole little identity. I'd like that. Every shot would have to count. Wouldn't it?
It would.
Bazooka Boy. I'd be a target. Obviously, I might not last long.
You can't put one of them in your mouth and think it's getting too hard, though.
Fuck it. At this point, I'm being a hero now.
Oh, right,
I've
you
got
move
an
on to
identity. Yeah, I found my. It was like the bat coming through the window moment, but for me.
Except in this case, it was a rocket launcher.
I saw like a shipping container full of rocket launchers and went, ah. It doesn't matter that I'm weak physically and old. I'll rocket launcher the fuck out of everything I can see.
The problem is that rockets like that, they've got about a dead range of about 50 metres or so.
Well, anything within 50 metres of me is fucked, isn't it?
It's just going to go through them. The warhead won't arm for so long.
Right. But it's a pretty big deal that he's picked one up.
It is, yeah. He shouldn't have one. He shouldn't have one. In the middle of the city.
That just shows you this. I was just trying to say. So it's early 90s. What was the nearest American war to this? What was happening for them?
The Iraq War, wasn't it? Gulf War.
1991.
Yeah, 91. So that was happening. So I'm just trying to think what kind of stock, what was available, what was this guy.
You'd have had Panama as well in the late 80s.
Because he's got hold of this from somewhere, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
Well, his shop is a military surplus store, but...
Yeah, but a rocket launcher is supposed to be military surplus. He's
No.
got good contact, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Defence expresses distaste for the store owner's bigotry. The man becomes violent and attempts to turn him over to the police in what I would describe as a simulated rape.
That's what I'm saying. Like, he's literally using the threat of gayness is the worst thing any man can imagine in 1992. That's the implication of it. And that's what the times
for
were
him,
like.
yeah.
To a straight man, anyway, isn't it? It's like, because I remember thinking as we were watching it, I was like, fuck. Because obviously, I was thinking of my housemate who's 25 and thinking like, fuck, his generation watching this now, but like, that's so bad, that's so wrong. I know they would.
Well, wait till they see Pulp Fiction.
Well, yeah, but it's like, but back then it's totally normal. It's the worst threat. It's terrifying, that scene. It's like, at that time, it was like, I'm not saying I'm more welcome to a raping.
Well, male rape is pretty terrifying to all males, isn't it?
Yes, definitely. But what my point is, they were very comfortable using it as the worst thing that could possibly happen to a man in a film. I guarantee you wouldn't see that in a mainstream film today, them using it as a bad, like, they won't go there.
No. Well, defence manages to get free and stab him and then shoot him dead. So this is the only murder he commits.
Yeah, but it's, self-defence, this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
And he's wearing a Nazi hat and he says, now you're going to die wearing that stupid little hat.
Defence changes into army clothes, takes the rocket launcher and leaves.
That's his full transformation now from businessman into vigilante.
It's right.
Transformation's complete.
Right there to see. It's visual.
It's probably
simple.
the point that he turns into a bad guy once he does the murder. Okay, now it's a neo-Nazi and he's horrible, but
it's a line
that's
been
still executed.
As the viewer, you're still. If you think the first time was someone watching this, you're still like, whoa.
He didn't kill the.
Is he the hero?
The Latino boy, did he?
No, he shot him in the leg.
But he murders this guy and he puts a military uniform on. But then he doesn't.
But
the next scene and he.
I think where eyes turn on it at this point, you're thinking, yeah, go on, because he's gone full. Like I say, this is a bit. If this was a Die Hard film, this is the the theme tune kicks in and he's got all the shit now. But it goes to a creepy level where you realise he's really stalking like his missus, and that kid, and like terrifying them. Well, the kid doesn't know yet, does she? Really? Well, she doesn't really know anything, does she?
And his level of violence is escalating.
And it's like that's the weird bit in it, where it's like, okay, you've pretended to still have your job. We know people. I've heard that story before. People just being too ashamed to admit and thinking, "Oh, I'll find a new one before I have to tell them." But going through this lie, complicated lie, rather than face the shame, which ends up being worse. He's done that, but then you realise he's also telling himself she's still his wife.
Till death do us part.
And you realise he's totally gone from reality, really.
Oh,
when you combine them, and it's like, oh, is he the good guy? And like,
there's another point in the topic of the film we haven't mentioned, and that's father's rights.
it's very true.
Yeah.
Because it is his daughter. He does have a right to see her on her birthday, surely, and give her a present. He's going about it the wrong way, I admit.
It's complicated, though, isn't it? Because they say in the film that the reason he's legally not allowed to go there is it's implied that she doesn't say he was violent, does she?
No,
But
she
says
says
she
she
feared
feared.
that he was going there because he was, and you see in the video, it's hinted that he was abusive.
Yeah, but then couldn't he have supervised visit?
Yeah, but so what I'm saying is the film is implying that he's done something that means he doesn't. Because fathers would normally, even if you divorce, like you're saying, yeah, you can come on Saturday and blah, blah, but there's a reason why she's been able to
I see what you
legally
mean.
say he's not allowed anywhere
But
near.
then the cop does
order.
ask her. But then the cop does ask her, has he ever done anything violent? She does say no.
Yeah, but then
But it felt like she
I'm
says,
just-
but I felt like he always
I
has.
can't believe I'm the fucking woke one on this episode. I can hear the woke voices, and I'm calming them.
Your hair's going blue as you're speaking.
Oh God, stop it! Oh, I've got a nose piercing. Where did that come from? Oh God, my cheek is pierced. Oh no! Oh, I have a mangina. I can hear them saying that, like, but it doesn't have to be violent. Like, we're downplaying her, like, experience as a woman. She's got a restraining order for a reason. It doesn't have to be violent. And like you're saying, the cops are then probably having that same attitude, like, well, what are you on about? So they even say, don't they, that, like, we can't come that many times in a day for, like.
Well, the female police officer that turns up is like, oh, next time, I drove halfway across the city for this.
Yeah, but doesn't it show you how the wife, though, knows him better than anyone? He might never have whipped a machine gun out before, but she fucking kind of knows. It's in him.
For it,
Yeah.
It's in him somewhere if he ever does go. And that traffic jam, the whole thing just. And now he's dressed as fucking Rambo.
But then, maybe if he had access to his kid, maybe he wouldn't have gone down this route in the
that.
first place. You don't know, do you? Well, it's still an issue
there's a
today,
reason-
isn't it?
Oh, I'm not denying, but I'm saying in the context of what the information we're given in this film, she's got a restraining order on him. That doesn't happen like as part of a normal divorce, does it?
No, it's apparently something.
Just because she says it wasn't violent.
It's something the judge suggested to her, apparently,
Well,
or a solicitor.
maybe
or a
it's a
lawyer,
comment
whatever.
on that. Maybe it's a comment on, because I did hear. Oh, you just reminded me of something. I don't know if I mentioned it. I think I did in episode 1, but I did hear on another podcast. Somebody said that at this point, early 90s, it's still like an empowerment time for, like, divorce was becoming more like
Yeah, you
acceptable.
mentioned it. Yeah, last time.
Like, so it might be because in the early 80s, 70s, women wouldn't have. They'd have stayed and thought, "Well, I'm fucked."
Yeah, totally.
But in the 90s, it was, more lawyers were on the rise who'd come in and help you.
Yeah. The next bit is one of my favourite bits of this, where he's trying to cross the bridge.
Yeah.
There's roadworks, can't get across. Bridge is closed.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I go across this bridge every day. What's the problem? There's no problem here. All it is you've got to justify your inflated budget, so you do unnecessary repairs, because if you don't spend the money, you don't get the same amount next year. And he's absolutely fucking true.
Bang on, isn't
If
it?
you don't spend the money, you don't get the same amount.
It's mental.
It's
Why things get dragged out and don't get rushed and done quickly.
Yeah.
It's the same in any country. We're no different. I guarantee it's the same. Well, you're just saying, literally, for a fact, in local councils everywhere, it's the same fucking thing. This is why these things never get rushed. People are paid mega bucks.
While I can't comment on the projects that are undertaken, I can say, like we have a grants budget. Now, if that doesn't get spent, we don't get the same amount next year.
Yeah.
It goes out to the community, but sometimes you're always like, oh, should we have done that one?
Well, the worst one, I mean, obviously listeners outside of Telford will understand this, but the bus stop, when they redid the bus stop at Wellington, they moved it about 50 yards.
Yeah.
what was the fucking point?
Yeah,
they just switched. Yeah, at a car park and a bus stop, didn't they? That's they just switched them round.
Yeah,
and it was like, what was the point in that?
I don't know if this is true or not.
It's more confusing now.
Yeah, I got caught speeding, and I went on this speeding course. This was a long time ago, actually. He's saying like each road sign that you see costs about £10,000 on average. Like,
wow.
What? He's like, because the planning has to go in, you have to do research. Is it blocking anything? Does it affect the traffic? All that.
Nature.
Yeah, and then you've got to apply to the council. So he's like, on average, every road sign costs about 10 grand. So he said they're there for a reason. Was his point. Don't ignore any road sign that is there literally for something's either happened.
Yeah.
To mean it needs to be there, or
thinks
so. Yeah, but about 10 grand, and most that's just bureaucracy. You know, it doesn't cost 10 grand to make it and put it in the ground, does it?
It's all the consulting.
It's all the red tape, all the bullshit.
It's going to go through people. It's going to go through a committee,
voting and blah blah, and
And this guy now is digging up the road for no reason.
Yep.
Well, we don't know. He does admit to it, but that's because he
gets fencing with him.
He's got a rocket launcher.
Yeah. Is that an automatic machine gun, Ben, or the handheld Uzi thing?
It's fully automatic.
Automatic.
Pulls on him, doesn't he? And he's like, yeah, admit it, yeah, it's all made over.
Yeah, I admit
this guy's crazy.
Training a fucking submachine gun on me. He gets the rocket launcher out. And he doesn't know how to use it, does he?
I like that.
Yeah.
In films, people know how to fly everything and shoot
because this little kid comes up to me, he's like, "Oh, you shooting a movie?" He's like, "Yeah, it's called Under Construction."
Good title.
How do you use? He's like, "Oh, good. How do you use this?" He's like, "Oh, you got to pull it out, and then you got to press the top." But he messes it up, doesn't he? And it fires his head down the pipe.
It's like the channel they've dug, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's like,
he messes it up, but
still doesn't kill anyone.
No.
It actually sort of works out perfectly for him.
It looks like a revolutionary act of blowing up the road
concrete truck, isn't it?
It's like, fuck these roadworks.
Yeah. I'll give you something to fix.
Isn't it? Everyone's pissed off, stuck in the traffic. We've all dreamed of wish I could just blow those guns up, but... You know, no one dies.
No.
Well, I don't know what would have happened if it didn't go wrong. What was he aiming at?
I think he was aiming at the truck anyway. Right, he just messed up because they hit the truck in it.
Yeah.
Well, because that's the thing. They won't arm until they travel a certain distance.
Right.
So
they make contact with something.
And of course, it's a contact thing.
Well, it's funny. And it shows you, we said it in the first part, didn't we? There is people, some of the things I read online, this is supposed to be a comedy, apparently, at the time.
Dark comedy.
Yeah.
It is meant to be.
Because I thought, watching it, young, this was an action film. That's how I remembered it when I was... Because it was one of the, like I said, one of the VHSs we had.
Yeah.
And to me, it was just like... I know there wasn't as much action as Lethal Weapon or whatever, but... Do you remember films like Leon?
Yeah.
Felt like there's films like that you just knew were good. Your older brother told you they were good or whatever, but I didn't see it as a. But then watching it the other day, it was just like it's fucking quite funny.
Yeah, it is in places. Yeah.
You ever see that French bloke in Much After? Did you?
Oh, Luc Besson.
Yeah.
He turns up in things.
He's in Godzilla, didn't he?
He was in Godzilla. But then again, they needed a French actor, and he was the only one in Hollywood apart from Gerard Depardieu.
And he's been cancelled.
He wasn't cancelled for the first Godzilla movie. Well, the first Hollywood Godzilla.
Gerard Depardieu was. Didn't he get his knob out on a plane and
I think he
piss
did,
in a pint glass or
something like that. Yeah. He was French. He's on a plane.
I am there evident.
He's full of wine. He's just full of wine.
Toilet is full. So am I.
I had that little French guy that was in Alien Resurrection.
We don't know if he spilled it, like if it then...
Remember him in the wheelchair?
Oh yeah. Never seen him in anything else though.
What if they
I've seen him in a French film called Delicatessen.
Oh, another French actor, I don't think. Delicatessen.
Yeah, it's sort of set in the future. It's about, cannibals that sort of own this restaurant. And
right, thank God for that. I just thought it was a French black and white film. It's some bloke who owned a deli.
No, it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy, black comedy. It's good. It's alright for a French film anyway. It's a bit weird.
My favourite black comedy is House Party.
So, yeah.
House Party.
That was a racial joke. It's because it's a comedy where everyone's...
Oh, right, okay. I hadn't seen that one. It was...
Oh, you've never seen House Party?
I don't think so.
Kid and Play?
No, definitely not, no.
Oh, wow.
He's not on my radar, Kid and Play, I'm afraid.
Okay, well, never mind. but it's all good. Right, so where's our mate Defence?
Well, he's now off. He's got back to his ex-wife house, Beth, but she's already fled with their daughter. He realises they may have gone to the nearby Venice Pier, because that pier was in a lot of their home movies, wasn't it? And it's a public place, though, isn't it? Let's face it.
If it's on your doorstep, it's nice to go with the family.
Be like the town park in Telford, wouldn't it?
There you go.
Yeah.
The equivalent.
Prendergast and Torres arrive before he can pursue them. Defence shoots Torres because Prendergast sends her around the back while he goes in the front.
Yeah.
She gets shot.
Shot a police officer now.
Just a shot a police officer.
Yeah, he's fucked.
And
but he's planned this, in a way.
Yeah.
If we get to, because... Oh, well, I won't spoil it. Keep going, sorry.
At the pier, Defence consults his ex-wife and daughter. Although his daughter Adele is happy to see him, Beth wants to leave. Because the little girl's just like, Daddy, I haven't seen you for so long. It's my birthday, you're here.
Well, I hate this is where you start to think, oh, he's not the good guy. Because you know the way he, like, kisses her as if... The wife, I mean, as if it's like they haven't split up. You know? And she's like, you're mental. You're actually mental.
He's actually snapped at this point.
Yeah, you're like, he's
lost.
gone.
Oh, we've missed out a point. We missed out the whole fucking thing where in the pool, he goes over the fence.
Oh, of course, he's going to get a garden to garden, isn't he?
And he finds that couple there with a kid by the pool, doesn't he, in that private mansion.
I totally forgot all that.
And he's cut his hand on the razor wire. He's like, why'd you put a razor wire up? I'm just trying to get through.
Yeah. And he's sort of holds
like,
hostage.
Please don't tell so-and-so. And he's like... He thinks he's a security, doesn't he?
Because you can hear the police and everything buzzing round.
And then he realises, no, he's not security. He's actually a madman with a gun.
Yeah.
And he's like, please don't hit my family. He's like, I'm not going to kill your family.
And he gets really offended by it. Yeah. He's like, well, that's not mine. But you can't blame them for thinking that's what
no,
he's
of course
do,
not.
Can you?
How many times in that scenario, right, does it just go horribly south and the guy with the gun shoots the entire family? Let's face it, 99.9999 times out of 100.
Unless Batman turns
up, obviously.
They're taking him as hostages, aren't they?
Yeah.
Taken as hostages, they die in the resulting American botched rescue. Grenade! Right, let's go in and see if anyone's alright. Yeah, that's a good bit, because at that point you're still kind of rooting for him, and it's like, alright, he's still got morals, he's just lost the plot, hasn't he? He's just in a... His morals are still there, but his mind is just like in a completely different reality.
He's gone. He thinks she thinks he's still his wife. He's still got the job. It's all. He can't face the actual reality. He's gone. He's snapped. He's dressed as Rambo.
Say he's falling down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shot a
you said the thing.
He shot a policewoman. He stepped them out. He's gone now. And like I said, this is you've literally.
Well, he's in jail now, isn't he? That's it.
You crossed it. Well, in America. Now, the second that you fired that gun, they're welcome to just open season on you, aren't they?
Yes,
cop killer or attempted
and he
cop
pulls
killer.
out. This is why I said earlier he planned it because he whips out, doesn't he, the water pistol?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he enforces suicide by cop.
He picks up the water pistol that the kid had. Didn't.
Well, first of all, Prendergast does a fantastic. It's great. Robert Duvall's fucking brilliant in this. Whoever wrote his lines, he delivered them fantastically, and he kind of like. Tries to get into his head a little bit, doesn't he?
He knows if he comes in,
he's like, look, he's
guns blazing. There's going to be.
But that's why I like Prendergast's character. He's not a gung ho American cop. He's a thinker.
Yeah.
And that's probably why the detective in charge doesn't like him, because he actually fucking thinks and tries to work it.
Yeah. And he knows that. Yeah, he can't go in all guns blazing. He's got to try and sneak his way in. Look as if he's sort of harmless and
like
and not a threat. Not a threat, I think, is the main thing. Yeah. He's like, my daughter. He tells about his daughter that died. Yeah. He tells him all about his problems and tries to
find some common ground with him. Which is what you do in that situation. Like, you don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
Tries to talk him down.
Yeah, it's my last day.
He's like, come on.
Because he doesn't know he's not going to put out a water pistol, does he?
No.
And he's like, you doesn't have to escalate any further now. We can end this, and you can,
You're probably going to go to jail, but you might get psychological help.
Yeah, and one day you'll come out and you'll see your daughter.
He says, I don't want
to see him behind bars or something.
He says something like that, yeah.
I want to see my daughter behind bars, and then that's it, then it.
So he reaches into the jacket pocket. Prendergast is saying, don't move your hand. He reaches in, he pulls something out, it's a water pistol.
It's gun-shaped.
I
just said before that, he's like says, what, I'm the bad guy?
Yeah, that's it, I'm the bad guy in all of this.
How did that happen? He goes, I did everything they told me to. And they lied to me. Pendergast is like, they lied to everybody. There's nothing special. We've all been lied to.
You saw the black guy in the same outfit as you get bundled in, the police guy.
I'm sure it's the same for the Korean shopkeeper.
Everyone's fucked.
It's the American dream.
You're absolutely right, Mike. Yeah, that's the thing.
What is the American dream? Is it with enough hard work, you can be a success?
Anyone
you can be rich.
Well, they call it a dream because you have to be asleep to believe it.
But Ben's right, though. The definition of it is literally, specifically, I think, immigrant. You come over with fuck all, you have some kids, you work hard, you maybe set up a business, whatever, you do whatever, but you make a success, financial success of yourself, basically, and that's the American dream.
Yeah, you can live a good life.
Yeah. But America was built for white American slave owners.
Yeah, but not by the time the 1800s.
No, but that was originally, they were the ones with all the rights. Well, nobody else.
There's a democracy, Mike. There's a constitution. There was a Bill of Rights.
Black people couldn't vote for starters.
Yeah, because they were slaves.
Well, that's all right then.
Well, no, but you look at it. You never look at things looking guys at the time. You judge everything by your moral standards.
What are you on about?
You do.
I'm not judging anything. I'm just saying.
There were slaves. Yeah, they were. That's how it was at the time. I'm sorry.
It was. I know there were slaves, but they didn't. You were saying it was a democracy. I'm saying it.
Well, it was if you were white.
Yeah, if you're a white slave owner.
Well, anyone that was white, everyone had the vote, didn't they? Apart from the black people who were slaves
and women.
No, women could vote too. And
I don't think so, mate.
Oh no, they couldn't.
I think you'll find they couldn't. What I'm trying to say is that it was a lie to
begin with.
The men could vote. It was a lie to begin with.
Well, in that case, all democracies are like. I mean, even the ancient Greek Athenian democracy.
But the point is, though, Mike, millions of people have gone to America and lived a good life.
That boils down to you guys just said. Millions of people have gone to America and made a fucking success of themselves over the years.
Millions.
Well, yeah.
Success,
like having your own home, like a decent income, like a couple of cars on the driveway, kids go to college, like middle class.
Your kids, you jump up a class.
In the 1950s, by the time defence is here, it's starting to crumble, isn't it?
Oh yeah, but not for my point is though, that's the American dream, is to have what he had. His is gone. Yeah, you're right. It did go wrong for him.
And it went wrong for millions of people.
Yeah, defo. But I see what you say. But like, it still exists. You still have it. There's millions of people enjoying it right now.
There's plenty of self-made millionaires in America.
There's not that many, mate. If you look at the social...
I think you'll find there's pretty quite
a few. America's pretty insanely big.
If you look...
There's literally millions of people.
People climbing the social ladder, less and less than it ever was.
There's still entrepreneurs. There's still
you
people
do get the occasional people. I'm about the majority of people. They don't shift from their economic state,
they don't. Do they work hard enough?
Oh,
but I think you're thinking too big. I think you're thinking too big. To me,
single woman working 3 fucking jobs.
That was bait.
To me, I think you're thinking too big. To me, the American dream is literally like what I said, like simple as your own home, a good job with a steady income. Your kids can go to college.
It's not though, is it? Because 50% of people in America now, they can't afford a $400.
The other 50% are going to college, and
if they get ill, they get bankrupt with medical bills. Or college, they're in debt.
People with good jobs. That isn't a problem, though, is it?
Yeah, but how many good jobs?
The dream doesn't exist for anyone. That's ridiculous.
You need a degree to become a barista now.
Look. Some of these things you're saying are true. You cannot sit there and say the American dream doesn't exist for anyone.
No, not for anyone.
Because it fucking exists for millions of people.
Not many, I'd say now.
What do you mean, not many? Like, everyone with a house, that's the American dream.
Which they're losing because they're getting debt.
Everyone with a house is losing their house.
Everybody, but...
That's what I'm saying, come on.
Millions lost their house in the crash, they got taken over by the banks. Millions.
Well, they'll be living somewhere now.
Yeah, but there's way more people that still have houses.
What I'm trying to say is the American dream was not what it was, is it? That's in the 50s. View. That's not the negative view, it's reality.
Come on, man.
This is what this film's showing. This is the whole point of this film. It's saying the American dream is crumbling and dying.
It was right then, but then it came back, didn't it?
It hasn't come back. No, that's the thing. It got worse. 2008 crash.
Think about the 2000s, Mike, when they're invading all the entire Middle East, and America was pumping them, wasn't it? You know,
wartime economy,
and the whole world's listening to NSYNC
overextending militarily. Which is what every civilization does before it crumbles.
Come on now. Come on, mate. You've got to believe in
America's in
America.
its death throes, mate. You know that.
No, it's not, because I'm proud to be an American. Well, at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died to give this right to me.
Can I just point out one important factor in this, guys?
Yeah, I know I'm English, like half Welsh.
Yeah.
I know.
Do you want to be an honorary American?
I'm just so disgusted with our own politics. It's so depressing and suicide-inducing. On a genuine, I mean that. It's so dark.
It is.
It's so relentlessly, miserably dark. That following the American politics is no different than me watching SmackDown every week.
You've got a point, to be fair.
It's fucking the most entertaining thing I've ever seen in my life.
It.
I told you, I wasn't lying when I said I've watched entire 8-hour-long Trump rallies, every single speaker. Yes, the 10-minute highlight was Hulk Hogan. Again, did you see him?
I did.
Out the park.
I
Again.
did.
I don't see no stinking Nazis.
Couldn't
Hulk
rip his
Hogan
vest
was-
off though, could he?
He's fucking
I
old.
know. What are you pulling your leg?
I know, I fast forwarded that bit. It was embarrassing. But he's still got him going.
Yeah.
And look how jacked he is, man. He's nearly 80.
It's Hulk Hogan that old.
Fuck yeah.
Wow. For me, he's always about 67. I don't know why. He never seems to age
He's
past
in
that.
his 70s, man. He's jacked.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
He must have been in TNA when he was late 60s then.
He's
Must have
been old since he was young.
Yeah.
He was bald in his late 20s, so to us he's always looked...
Yeah,
Like-
good point.
But we're really getting off now, aren't we? Are we still doing a podcast?
Yeah.
I thought we were just chatting then.
We can do that in a minute. We'll
We're at
finish
the
this.
point where he's like, he's confronting, Prendergast is confronting defence on the pier.
And
It's a showdown, isn't it, between the sheriff and the bad guy now? Which, it's fitting really, this had to end the American way, didn't it?
Suicide by cop.
Well, this,
Yeah.
That's literally what
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
and he
yeah,
planned it.
Yeah.
He knew it would happen. He
Yeah.
gave
I want
him
about
the-
like the old westerns, the sheriff taking
Oh,
down
yeah.
the bad guy,
In
and
terms of cinema, yes, definitely.
it is an American tale. This
But
film,
the
very
twist
much
on
so.
it, though, like you said, it's very much of its time. We've just argued about the American dream. Like you said, the American dream was dying for him at this time,
Yep.
for his class. But this is part of America. Like, he knows, I'm going to push this poor policeman. If I do this certain thing, he has no choice.
on his last day.
He has no choice
Yeah.
but to pull and shoot.
Well, he knows he's gone too far now, doesn't he? He's sort of
And he
come
wants
back
it.
to reality and realise that he's
Yeah.
going to go to prison. He's never going to get to see his daughter grow up. He's fucked his life.
He disgraced his father.
Yeah, it's time to fucking just kill me.
But the
I can
I
identify
have
with that.
complete sympathy for Prendergast in this scenario, or any policeman that's ever put in this scenario. You have a quarter of a second to make a fucking decision. Is that a real gun or not? You can't. You just gotta.
Can't take that risk.
You
can
can't take the risk, can you? You cannot take that risk.
The day you do is the day you probably take one. But yeah,
No, he ain't got no fancy body armour.
no,
He's just this fat guy in a shirt.
he's a proper
Yeah.
detective. The kind of detective we don't get anymore.
No.
But it's a redemption arc for him in a way, isn't it? Because-
Yeah, he gets his balls back.
Yeah.
Well, he tells his wife to fuck off in that
Yeah.
one scene, doesn't
Yeah.
he? Finally, he's like,
Now he's not retiring, he's going back on the streets, I think.
He says she's wait till she finds out I'm still a policeman.
Yeah.
Good on him. He got his cut back.
Yeah. I bet he went home and banged his wife.
Oh, yeah.
And
Shut
threw her
up.
pills in the bin.
Yeah.
I don't know why I did that, but yeah. He had to hand his gun in as well, remember, before that's why he didn't have one on him.
That's true.
And he picked up hers, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was literally his last afternoon.
What a last afternoon, eh?
Well,
Well, it's not his last afternoon. He holds off the retirement.
because if defence, what would have happened if the police didn't turn? What, would he have gone on to hurt his wife and child?
Well, I maintain he wouldn't have hurt his child, but his wife, I think, may have got hurt. Whether
don't
he
know.
killed her or not,
He may have killed. Look, he may have done a Chris. I hate to say it, but he may have done a Benoit.
he may have done a Benoit. That's a future episode.
God, I don't, because I loved him, but then I just haven't been able to watch a single match.
Yeah. That was sad.
That's a bad one.
But yeah, what can you say? I love this film.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Same. I said to Mike earlier, talking about it makes me want to watch it again.
I'd
So
actually...
much to it.
Yeah.
I'd go 7.9 quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Yeah, easy.
I'd
go 8 or 9
I'd
out
go
of
8.
10.
Yeah.
8 or 9, yeah. With it, like I say, they don't make... Well, they do, but you don't get to see them because they're not promoted. But, you know, movies where it's a movie, every single shot means something. You know, it's not... We're not spoon-fed.
No.
There's strong characters. There was a meaning. There were themes. It was of its... You know, the time it was in... It was saying something about the times it was set in.
You
but
care
still,
about the characters.
Yeah, but it still resonates with us watching it now, today. Filmed well, shot well, framed beautifully.
Yeah.
That opening scene was magic.
It really captures a sort of picture of LA at that time, doesn't it?
Definitely, yeah, you feel like...
I mean,
I've
even
never
had to,
been-
like you say, I think we mentioned it in the last pod, but it even had to be paused during the riots,
yeah,
didn't it?
'cause
So
the riots kicked off.
Yeah.
But it's like, I've never been to LA, but you genuinely feel it gives you a sense that you've gone on a fucking trip through certain part of LA, doesn't it? Like, you know, it's just the way it makes you feel because it's filmed properly, everything moves in the right direction, literally and like metaphorically. Love it.
Yep.
I think it's fantastic.
I love that interview with the screenwriter. Do you want to read that, Ben?
In an interview less than a week before Falling Down's release, screenwriter Emma Rose Smith gave his interpretation of what the movie was about. Quote, "To me, even though the movie deals with complicated urban issues, it is really just about one basic thing. The main character represents the old power structure of the US that has now become archaic and hopelessly lost. For both of them, it's a just or die time." End quote.
Like John Wayne walking through 90s urban America. Well, I say things are sure changed around here.
Yeah.
How many people do you think John Wayne would beat if he walked down an average...
In his prime,
Yeah.
movie John Wayne or
No,
real
like
life?
real life John Wayne.
Well,
if he
no
was,
one
if
is
he
a
was,
Ponsafe.
if he came out now and was walking through an urban centre, how many people do you think he would try and punch for their ways?
Oh, well, everyone. Men, women, children. Well, I say, boy. No, look, let's not talk bad of Mr. Wayne.
The Duke,
The Duke. The Iron
Marion.
Duke. Marion, yeah, that's it.
Draft Dodger,
My dad's favourite actor.
Hero.
Ah, come on. He was just icon. He didn't have to be a real... He was iconography just to inspire you on. To make you feel like a fake America that's not actually real, that inspires your heart to do good things, might like win elections, you know, and drive garbage trucks and
Work at McDonald's.
work at McDonald's. Huge. China.
That's a good quote as well. Michael Douglas talking about his character.
Douglas talked to the character saying there's a lot of people who are a paycheck away from being on the streets and being out of work who did everything right. They've been responsible, they tried hard, and they don't know what went wrong. We won the war. Where's it all at?
Yeah.
That's us, isn't it?
But remember,
Been taken by the 1%. That's where it's all
remember
at.
post-war America, like into the 60s, was the golden era of capitalism.
Yep.
You could work hard, have your house, send your kids to college. Only one of you had to work.
Strong labour unions. back
Strong
then.
labour unions.
I worked down at the car plant.
It was, it was more equal.
It
Like
was
The Simpsons.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the most utopian the working man has ever had.
And then they voted it all away.
Yep. Manipulated.
Fucking liberals.
The 1% took over all the news and brainwashed everybody into voting against their interests.
But
if they can,
On the plus side,
if we
though,
continue to do that.
PlayStations are really high quality at the moment. Like the games you can play, like the distraction. Woo!
didn't you tell me the PlayStation 5 isn't touched by human hands if it gets put in the box?
Yeah. Like,
That's incredible.
Literally constructed entirely by machine.
It's incredible.
So they make it even fucking more wonderful little box of joy. That's the mother box, you know, in the Justice League. It's coming out. That's the mother box, the PS5, man.
Well, apparently the critics didn't like this film much, did they?
Well, they wouldn't, because it's goes against the grain, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That tends to be a thing with critics. Is if a film goes against society and makes certain societal critiques nowadays, it doesn't tend to get a very good review.
And we've got to put ourselves in their mindset at this time. People don't like something that's too real or too much of a reflection that says too much about like where they are at that time, where like, you know what I mean? People are like, ah, fuck.
Yep. Great film.
Awesome. Yeah. I encourage you all to watch the director's next film.
Batman Forever.
Batman Return. No, it's Batman Forever.
It's Batman Forever, yeah.
Fucking idiots. Call yourself a nerd. Batman Forever.
God, that film's meh.
Yeah.
No need for a third act in that film if the characters are actually sane.
That's the one with the Kung Fu laundry, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck you. I hate that.
Because we like to try and tie a film into a conspiracy of some description, you could argue this film is about the American trend of going postal.
Oh, yes.
Although, obviously, defence wasn't a postal worker, it does kind of apply.
Yep.
It's an English slang phrase referring to becoming extremely and uncontrollably angry, often to the point of violence, and usually in a workplace environment. The expression derives from a series of incidents from 1986 onward, in which the United States Postal Service, UPS, workers shot and killed managers, fellow workers, police officers, and members of the public in general in acts of mass murder.
America!
Fuck
America! Fuck yeah!
I can understand why the UPS workers of all people did this, because we have a guy comes from UPS, right? Brown van, he's entirely in
They
brown.
get the side door, man. So jealous.
He's entirely in brown. Brown hat, UPS. Brown shirt, UPS. Shorts, UPS. Socks. UPS socks.
Oh,
This bloke is like the full kit wanker of postal workers. That dude that always turns up in the socks, shorts and top all matching.
All the gear, no idea.
Full kit wanker. But he's actually, he has to, he's contractually obligated to wear brown socks, brown shorts, brown shirt and a brown hat, and drive a brown van.
To fall asleep at night, he huggles up to the penis of corporate submission.
Yes! And so I get it. Yeah. I get why these people would do that.
He takes down the corporate phallus. Yeah. I feel like going postal.
I was thinking that Simpsons episode where he's like, he's stroking that gun, isn't he? He's like, I am the angel of death. I will have my time or something like that.
That's the thing though, the English.
And he goes on a shooting spree.
Going postal in America obviously means gun violence and death. Like going postal in England probably is like throwing a stapler at someone, kicking a bin, you know what I mean, throwing a monitor through a window maybe. You know, we're not going to go in there. What's the English going postal, do you know what I mean? It's not a murder spree.
No, it's just hanging yourself.
It's
in the basement of the postal fucking...
No, you smash... People smash things up, don't they? British people are good at like giving something a good kicking. And then leaving. Yeah. Fuck you, Brian! Fuck you! Monitor through the fucking window and you know, things like that.
I don't think the monitor through the window is too much for an English office. Monitor on the floor, definitely.
I don't know, maybe I've just worked at some really shitty places.
Yeah, I've never seen anything like that. Right, let's just have a quick run through some of the major going postal episodes we've had. So between 1970 and 1997, more than 40 people were killed by then current or former employees in at least 20 incidents of workplace rage. Between 1986 and 2011, workplace shootings happened roughly twice per year, with an average of 1.18 people killed per year through former employees shooting them.
Fuck me. That's insane.
Los Angeles, California, 1970, someone shot their supervisor. Edmond, Oklahoma, 1986, a postman, Patrick Sells, shot and killed 14 employees and wounded 6, then killed himself. Escondido, California, 1989, letter carrier John Merlin Taylor shot and killed his wife, then she went to the office and killed 2 more people for shooting himself. Ridgewood, New Jersey, 1991, Carol Ott and her boyfriend Cornelius Caston Jr. were killed by Joseph M. Harris, who was his former supervisor, killed them with a katana. Then he went and shot 2 mail handlers at the Ridgewood Post Office. Royal Oak, Thomas McIlvaine killed 5 people, including himself, and injured 5 others with a rifle in the post office.
Jesus.
2 events in 93. Mark Richard Hilburn killed his mother and her dog, and then shot 2 postal workers, killing 1. Goleta, California, 2006. Former postal employee killed 6 postal employees before killing herself with a handgun. That's in 2006.
Yeah.
Baker, Oregon, 2006. A letter carrier in Baker City, Oregon, pleaded guilty to the murder of his supervisor. Yeah, he brought a gun with him, but then ran him over several times. And then he went out looking for the postman and postmaster and shot him. Dublin, Ohio, 2017. Oh, we have a Dublin in America listing. I wonder if this is them. 2017, postal worker Deshaun Stewart arrived at the Dublin postal office naked and then shot and killed his supervisor. He then made his way to an apartment complex and killed the Dublin postmaster, Ginger Ballard, by throwing her to the ground, causing blunt force trauma to her head. So yeah, those are some of the biggest ones we've had. I get it with the UPS guys dressed all in brown. It's not good. That's going to affect your mental state.
Yeah, well, I've come close to doing it, but I'm still here, still free. So yeah, well, I think we've done pretty in-depth review of Falling Down, to be fair.
And if that's your thing, then, let us know. If it's not, let us know.
Hope you've enjoyed it.
Yes, absolutely. I have. It's been a fucking...
Yeah, I
enjoyed watching that film again.
And I enjoyed talking about it.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Well, I've been Ben. Thanks for listening. Do as thou wilt, but don't go on a killing spree.
Well done, well saved.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.
I've been Gaz, free Biff Tannen.